So in this example, what we're going to do is read into a file a structure. So here is our structure, and we're calling it info, and you'll notice that we have a character array, we have int age, we have character address array, a character address to array, and a character for phone number. Now, do recall that it's not the end of the world that we have a phone number stored as characters instead of as integers, because we can deal with that later on. We can cast a character as an int, and actually it helps us deal with things like the forward slash or the dash or the dot, however it is that people will choose to enter their data. So here we have our person structure. So this is the initialization on line 20 for that. Here I have a character that I just need to be able to hold whether or not I want to continue everything. Here on line 24, you'll notice that I am using fstream instead of ifstream and ofstream. So I can use fstream for reading and writing, or reading or writing, depending on what it is that my particular piece of code requires us to do. So that's exactly what we're doing here. Is we've got this for iOS. There's our flag out, and we are using binary as the the nomenclature, how it is that we are writing to our file. So what we're going to get here are the members of our structure. We are going to get line person.name and name size. We know we're going to get person.age. You'll notice that this one can be a cin as opposed to a get line because it is an integer. It is not a character array. But the rest of these, because they are character arrays, we need to be able to account for that address, or the size rather, of the character array. So we'll put in some data here. We're going to get Big Bird. Age, I think he's like 59 years old by now, which is very old for a bird. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 Sesame Street, and that is Imagination Land. I don't know. Where should it be? Illinois. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because maybe we live in Imagination Land too. So once we get this, we're going to have a phone number. Remember, again, it's stored as characters, so it doesn't really matter. We should look at phone size is 14. So what does that let you know? That lets you know it's 1.815.92, whatever that is. And so do we want to create another record? I'm going to go ahead and say no. So what's going to happen is once we get all of this data in, we are going to write this to our file. Remember, it is being written to a binary file. You can see that's already over here because I have already written those contents to the file. So this here, really, line number 44, is our new wrinkle for this portion of the chapter. People.write. So there's a couple of things to notice here. So people is the name of our file, right? So we've got person, and that's the name of our structure. And I chose this poorly. I should have changed those names. But you can see here, people, that is the name of my data file. So people.write, so what we're saying is we're going to write out to the file, which is a data file, people. So here, reinterpret cast character pointer. So what we're saying is that we are going to point at and person. So we are going to point at the structure that we used, and that's obviously person again, so that's right here, and size of person. So because it's a structure, it knows the size of that structure. So what we're saying is go through every character in the structure person and continue until you run out of characters, and save those as character out to our people.dat, and the flag here for binary takes care of, okay, convert these characters to binary when you're saving out to our file. So I don't want to make another record, so I'm going to go ahead and say no, and we're going to quit out of that program. But I look over here at people.dat, and this is not what you're going to see in every program that can open character.dat. This was created here inside of this particular run of C++. So this is, it's not cached necessarily, but it understands the file type with the kind of data that we have in there. So here you can see Big Bird, and here you can see the rest of the data that was contained inside of that memory location that was not overwritten with our input. Same here. There is 123 Sesame Street and the rest of the garbage that happens inside of that memory location. Imagination Land, Illinois 6114, and congratulations, more garbage. So this is how we can use an fstream to write to a file, and we're going to write to a file the contents of a structure, and we get this awesome little shorthand to be able to do that right here on lines 44 and 45. People.write, so that is the name of my file object, .write, reinterpret cast, and then character pointer and a pointer to a, or a reference, it's a reference to an structure, and then we know the size of the structure, and that is all you need. That goes through and completes that entire file operation for you, and I bet you wish you had that when we were working with vectors for the final project, because that could have been, oh, I don't know, 4 whole lines of code that you could have not had to write.